What's up, people? Hello, how are you? Welcome to Mystical AF, which infuses mysticism in 21st century leadership to unlock the secrets of liberation and empowerment. The show features entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and creatives committed to leaving the world better than we found it. And I have an amazing leader with me today, my friend and client, Holly Yarbrough, who is here to talk about a new school that she is creating. It's a homeschool, quote unquote. And why I wanted you on specifically is that not only are you creating a new way of education, but you're also committed to your dream. And the dream was the freaking school. When we started working together, you're like, I'd like to do this school, and I don't know when it's going to happen. And it hasn't been that long, like 4 months or something. And you're already on the path and have it opening. So welcome, Holly. Thank you so much for being here. And with that said, let's talk a little bit about the school first, and then we'll talk about your origin story. Is that cool?
That sounds great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. You're welcome. Okay, so let's talk about the school. What exactly is this? What does it look like? Why did you create it?
Yeah, okay. So that is a loaded question. I'd like to start with why I created it. So
Perfect.
um, when I think back on my own personal education, I do not like the experiences that I had. I felt like it was just a bunch of stress, and I didn't really retain a lot of the information that was forced into me. It was kind of like learn it for the test and then completely forget everything that I learned.
Mm,
And I just didn't feel like I knew my purpose. I didn't feel like I was seen when I was younger. And I really entered adult life feeling like I was at square one. Like I got to start my own education as I stepped into college. And I didn't want that for my kids. I didn't want that for any other kids. And so I knew from gosh, back when I was in high school that I wanted to reimagine the way that education gets to be delivered. And that has slowly been pieced together year after year, especially after becoming a mother. And it
How many
really,
kids do you have?
I have 6 kids. And I might not be done.
Six.
Who knows? So this really started taking shape for me when we found out that we were pregnant with our first child. And it was time for me to go back to school and for me to find somewhere for him to go. So I started going around and looking at all of the different options in the area. I think I toured over like 40 different schools in the Orange
Wow.
County area. And I knew that there was something specific that I was looking for, and I wasn't finding it. I was walking in and seeing like things that I liked, things that were working, but there were a lot of things that I really didn't like. And so it became very clear that,
What wasn't working for you? I think that's important to kind of talk
yeah,
about.
what wasn't working for me was that it's everything seemed so micromanaged. It seemed like
Mm,
children were being put inside of a box, and there was this template of information that was being put in front of them, and that was what they get to learn. And I just don't believe in that. I believe that the curriculum should follow the child. I believe that every single person is so unique and has such unique gifts inside of them that why are we giving everybody this one cookie cutter bit of information and knowledge and then saying, here's your degree, you now have everything you need to go out into the world and make your magic and make your impact. I don't
And I
believe.
so I just want to stop you for a second because I so agree with that. Being an ADHD person who really the old school, I'm ADD, so I'm like the dreamer. I'm slow. I'm a slow learner, as they would say. And really, they would put me in a box, literally put me like in a cubicle, and like think that I could focus that way by myself. And it was actually the worst thing to do for me. All I needed to do, I needed to go outside. I needed to be able to draw and math. Like I'm probably at a third grade math level.
Mm,
No joke. And my reading is amazing. They were like, all right, well, we're just gonna have this kid be so luckily I went to a school that saw that, but there was still this like, you're not good enough because you're not great at math, or you're not, you know what I mean? So I think that um your vision is so, it's not only needed, but it's so perfect because I think that our generation we're realizing what didn't work, and there's so much potential to be able to kind of play in this space to give kids an education that really impacts them. So I just want to put in that 2 cents because I get it, being
Yeah.
one of those kids.
Yeah, and everybody has a different learning style. There are some people who prefer to be actually like feeling the materials that they're learning from, and some people are more auditorial. And so that's what really led me towards the school that I'm creating. But first, prior to that, we landed on falling in love with Montessori, and I actually went and got my teaching credentials as a Montessori directress. And I taught at a Montessori school for 10 years, and I absolutely loved it. Montessori is a beautiful learning philosophy. And I still saw the box that people were being put in. There was the box of the philosophy. And that's not how the world works. The world is growing and changing so fast. I mean, the second I buy myself a new phone, there's already an upgrade that's coming out, right? It's just
Every time. I'm like, I'm going for the big one, and now I'm already like 3 behind.
Yeah. So if that's the way that the real world is, why would our education system stay the same for so long? It's time for things to evolve. And that's exactly what this school system that we are bringing into the world is. It's an evolution. It's education reimagined. It's taking the micromanaging out of the school day and giving children freedom that they get to earn, and it's giving them space to be creative and really blossom the genius that's inside every single person, and it allows them to really get connected to what their special gifts are, because every single person has special gifts and talents to bring out into the world. And I believe that those can be discovered at very early ages, and why not start mastering them now?
Right. And I love that you say freedoms to be earned. Like, I just really want, because I think the old school of thought, and a lot of people are comfortable in this old school of thought, well, if we give kids all this freedom, then they don't have any, tools of discipline. They've got all these kids like running around wild, which I think we've seen kind of generations go through that a little bit. So can you talk a little more about the earning piece of it? Are you there? Ladies and gentlemen, I think Holly has frozen in time. Let's see what happened. Holly. Yeah, it's frozen on her end. Let's see. I'm going to have her come out. And while we're waiting for this, while we're waiting for her to come back, I'd love for you guys to put in the comments, what is resonating with you in this conversation? Were you a kid like me who struggled in school? Did you have teachers like Holly who could, who saw your brilliance and was able to create special ways? I'm just asking the audience to drop in some comments of, what's landing for them. Did they have any special teachers like you? I certainly did. I was so lucky to have aides that saw my potential and saw my creativity, and have a school system that, they tried different things, and when things didn't work, I remember in elementary school, there was a bench in the hallway across from the principal's office, and I would be on the bench all of the freaking time because I was just like, I couldn't stay still, And then as I got older, my drama teacher went through 7 years of school, and he basically was with our class the whole time, and he created a Waldorf school. And he created it the year after I graduated. And I was like, man, I'm like a year too late. Like, I would have loved that because, they get to go out in the woods and play basically, but it's all experiential learning. And I think we're seeing more and more, especially just through marketing and what experiences are available now, we're more becoming an experiential society, which is so awesome.
Yes.
So anyways, sorry, to loop back to my original question, I was asking about how the kids can earn the freedom, how they.
Yeah. So the name of the school the philosophy that we are following is called Acton Academy. And the premise of Acton Academy is that it is learner driven, and they are given full independence. So there are not teachers in an Acton school, there are guides. And the role of the guide is to really keep the learners on track. And what I mean by that is the learners are setting daily goals. They're learning how to manage their time. and they're really in charge of what it is that they want to put their attention on. So there's this really cool program where they get to track their journey, their whole learning experience, and it's all gamified. So they get to earn these badges and build a portfolio, and they get to see the progress that they've made. And there are no grades in an Acton school, but we really do give grades, because the only way to earn a badge is to earn 100%, to reach a level of mastery in whatever skill set it is. So everything that you see in a child's portfolio is going to be something that they've essentially reached 100% mastery on. And so imagine, as a student, to really like have this tangible thing that you can look at and be proud of all of your time and energy and effort. You can see everything that you've accomplished, and you get to share that with your peers. You get to share that with your guides, with your parents. So with the earned levels of freedom, as the children are in charge of their own daily schedules, they get to schedule in, okay, I'm currently working on mastering, level 5 in my math. And so if they set a goal to work for 30 minutes on level 5 math that day, and they are only able to get, 20 or 25 minutes in, and let's say that happens in a couple of their other core skills areas, then that means that they are going to have a lower level of freedom that they get to earn, which the way that there's a whole system in place, but the highest level of freedom is basically that they completely make their own schedule. Whatever choices they want to make during their core skills time is what they get to make. They get to work collaboratively with their peers. When it's time to work, they can choose to put earbuds in and have music playing. We do have a rule that the music is no words, because there is scientific evidence that when you have music, instrumental music playing, it gets you into a flow state.
Yep, sure does.
It's actually encouraging for the kids to have that music playing, but it's also something that they get to experience as something that they've earned. And so when they are able to focus their attention and get their work done and meet the goals that they set for themselves, then they earn the highest levels of freedom within the studio.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what kids are a good fit for this school?
Oh gosh, I mean, I believe that all kids are a good fit for this. Really, it's the right question is what parents are a good fit for this. You really have to be willing to take a leap of faith to try something new and to give your children the space to fail. And what I mean by that, like when you hear that, you're kind of like, wait, what? Give your children the space to fail? So many parents nowadays want to just protect their children from that feeling of failure, but it's so important to experience failure, because failure means you're growing. Failure means you're actually moving forward. And so it's super important for parents who choose this type of schooling to be able to set their children up for success and step back and allow whatever gets to happen in the process to happen, and trust that they are moving forward. Because right now, parents are so conditioned to be looking at that grade. What's the score that they got on the paper that they did? What do you mean you didn't do any math today? That's not okay. How are you going to get into college, or whatever it is? So a parent that is willing to take that leap of faith and trust the process is really what's going to determine if the child is a right fit, because I truly believe that every child is a right fit for this program.
That's awesome. Now, is it in person or is it online?
It's in person. It's 100% in person.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you're in Orange County, California.
Yes, we're currently opening up at a location in Mission Viejo. Yeah, very excited.
Awesome. That's so cool. Is there anything else you want to share with parents or even just kids about this, about the new philosophy of teaching?
I mean, really, it's just when I think back on the different things that I have done that have had the greatest impact on me and who I've become, it's all experience-based learning, just like you were saying, Keelan. a lot of what I notice in the traditional education is that you're being put in front of a teacher who's lecturing at a whiteboard, or you're being put in front of a textbook that you're supposed to read and then actually like retain this information. But what I've found is that when kids are actually able to have experiences where they can try something on, feel it with their hands, insert themselves into whatever the lesson is, it's something that actually sinks into their bones and they're never going to forget it. And so, one of the things that I love most about this learning model is that a huge portion of the day goes into something called a quest. And the quest is basically like experiments, but experiments that last for a 7-week period. And so, you do a deep dive into one particular subject. I had the pleasure of going and visiting an Acton program down in San Diego a couple weeks ago, and they were finishing up their quest on physics. And I'm walking into this school going, okay, I don't know what I'm about to see, but I do know that I'm about to witness children as young as 3 years old who have learned about physics and are going to show me what they've learned about physics.
Wow.
And it was mind blowing. I got to watch children from 3 years old all the way up till 8th grade sharing what they had learned over their deep dive into physics over the last 7 weeks. They all got to create some sort of a toy or game and display their new knowledge of physics through their toy and game. And it was set up like a science fair. And I got to walk around and interact with each of them. And their communication skills alone blew me away. They all gave direct eye contact, and they were just so excited to answer any questions that I threw at them. They
Wow.
were so filled with information and confidence, and they were so lit up about what they had created. It was just the most beautiful thing. And I left so excited to just immerse myself in that world and my own children and every child I can get my hands on, because it's the light that I saw in every single one of them was so vibrant. And I have no doubt in my mind that it's because of the education system that they have the privilege of being part of, and that I get to have the privilege of building here in Orange County.
Yeah, that's awesome. So for people who aren't in Orange County, what do they get to do?
Yeah, so if you're not in Orange County, Acton Academy has exploded worldwide. So if you go to Acton Academy, I believe it's .org or .com, I'm not sure. But if you go Google Acton Academy, you can do a quick find your school and put in your state, and there will be a handful of schools in your area.
How do you spell it?
It's Acton Academy.
.com.
Yes.
Make a
And
little banner for y'all.
you can definitely reach out to me as well, and I would be more than happy to help find an Acton near you.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. As we wrap up, is there anything else you want to share? I'm going to take this down, guys, so make sure you write that, actonacademy.com. Is there anything else you want to share with parents out there who might be struggling with the current school system, the current climate, anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me is I've had this vision to create the school for a long time, but what has really pushed me toward the time is now is I feel like a lot of parents are probably feeling just like me. I feel like our freedoms are being taken away from us. And I feel like certain agendas are being forced on us and on our children. And I think a lot of people are not sure what their options are. And so what I would love to share is that you have so many options. And the one thing that I definitely recommend is hold strong to whatever your values and your belief systems are, and just get connected to the community around you and find other like-minded people, because there are so many options and you do not have to choose to go against your own values and belief systems because a higher order is trying to force them on you.
Hear, hear. And with that said, I love that you presence that there's so many options, you guys. There's so much in this world. Just allow your heart to open and get curious. Always get curious, about what options are out there. So with that said, thank you so much for being here. we'll have you back on again so you give us an update to see what's happening. And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of want to join your school too. I'm like, I want to go play there. I love that
Well,
because
we're actively looking for guides, so
that's
come
so
play.
cute. And you deserve support too. So, with that said, guys, thank you so much for being here. Please give Holly some love. Drop in the comments exactly what landed for you, what you guys are hearing, what excites you about this new philosophy, right? And also, please, if this was supportive, please share this. Please hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, and join us again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. And always remember, stay curious. Don't get mad, get glad. Love you guys. See you later. Bye.